Hey, good morning, everybody. Midriff here with you. Today's episode is brought to you by the morning. So I figured I would bring you along for my commute to work. So it's right now, it takes me about 45 minutes to get to work. That's about how much time I have on my GoPro battery. So who knows, maybe I'll get to work before my camera dies. We'll see. That being said, just a little update. My Triumph is currently just in maintenance right now. I'm waiting for parts to come in. I'm waiting for a clutch switch assembly to come in, as well as an oxygen sensor. Once that stuff gets going, I will have a video on me putting that stuff on, tuning it up, getting ready to go. But in the meantime, I just basically take my bicycle to work in the morning. It's really nice, and the pathways in Ottawa here are actually pretty decent. So anyway, come along. Okay, so far it's been pretty nice. The residential, so the road I was just on and the road that I'm on now, they're considered bicycle routes. There's some solely dedicated bicycle pathways, and then there's shared pathways, or MUPs as they call them, multi-use pathways. But so right now I'm just heading towards, but on my left and my right there's giant farm fields. It's called Experimental Farms, and as far as I know, it has to do with research conducted by Canada Agriculture, the Department of Agriculture for Canada, whatever the heck that's called. Quite a nice morning. We'll have like some farming animals. It's open to the public, and there's pathways through it, so you'll see a lot of times people cycling or running through there. The occasional time you'll actually see somebody just walking through the corn or the crops. Who knows? If I were to keep going straight, it would take me to the Arboretum, but I'm not going through there. It's pretty neat. It's a fair size. We're at Dow's Lake, and it extends all the way south. You can rent paddle boards, paddle boats, canoes from that marina there. It's man-made. It's part of the Rideau Canal system. In the wintertime, it becomes part of the skating pathway that goes all the way back up through downtown. So downtown's located that way, about to the northeast. So hopefully the sun's not in your eyes too much, or my breathing is too heavy. And this is Queen Elizabeth Gardens. In these flower beds all along, you see that one there to the right, but all along down the stretch is where they plant some of the tulips. Is Ottawa's Tulip Festival over May long weekend. It had to do with the Netherlands, or the Dutch, the royal family in World War II. In World War II, that royal family fled, came to Canada. Canada housed them, and then when the Netherlands was liberated, they went back home, and in gratitude for Canada, they've donated tulips to the city of Ottawa since the end of World War II. So it's kind of neat. I know there's probably more history, so if you're a history buff, it's pretty neat. It's part of our heritage. There's a lot of parts of Canadian heritage, good and bad, but that was a good one. Yeah, this is a very busy street here. If I were to go right now at this intersection, I'd make my way down to Carleton University. If I keep going further south, I'll end up at the airport. But honestly, sometimes the connections between bike routes to get on the MUPs or the cycle routes isn't an even flow. It does flow in the main, I'm gonna say air quotes, tourist areas. So to the north along the Ottawa River, it's one continuous, uninterrupted MUP. And then to the south along the canal system, it's again uninterrupted from downtown essentially to Dow's Lake there, where that marina is. Outside of that, it's a series of interconnections. It's gotten better since I moved here to Ottawa in 2014. Other cities that I've cycled in, it's not bad by any means, but they're slowly getting better. I will say, if people watch this that have anything about monorails or LRTs, Ottawa's LRT system is in a lot of water. I don't know if it was what the issues. Well, there's multiple issues, but why it came to be such a big debacle, I don't know. We'll only hear half the story, right? So, but the one good thing about all that, regardless, is they've made nice dedicated cycleways. I'm gonna call them cycleways. They're MUPs, but that's good. So the issue with Ottawa in the wintertime is there's many commissions in the national capital, as you can imagine. So they have the NCC, which essentially controls the land by the water, National Capital Commission. And then you have the city of Ottawa. So in the wintertime when we get snow, and it's squirrels living dangerously. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute when I get to the canal system in the water. Got lost in my own thought there. The NCC, they don't snowplow any of the land by the water. Why that is, but they don't. So in the wintertime, cycling is still very active. The city is kind of been ahead of it a little bit, or maybe just their nose above water in that term, but they created all these cycle routes, so they're plowed, and they got some sharrowed, some separated bike lanes and some busier streets. So in the wintertime, you can get around, you just can't go. So here we're part on the Rideau Canal. For your orientation, we're heading north to the city. I kind of zigzag my way from the west to the east, and it's actually not too bad, uninterrupted. Ottawa's got quite a few actually, foot or pedestrian bridges over the canal at various locations. The newest one is behind me. That's the Clegg Street bridge. It's pedestrian, and it's MUP only. In the foreground, I don't know if you can see through the trees, the bus just went over there. That's Pretoria Bridge. That's, you gotta, it's like a cycle route, so you gotta get off and go along the bridge. As more and more cycling infrastructure has been getting developed, people have, I think people have always kind of been mindful of cyclists and cyclists of people. So it's pretty good on those cycle paths. You have people in both groups. Now I'm starting to rant, but anything else, not necessarily are super respectful, but that's the minority, not the majority. So we're going over a footbridge to UOttawa. So what we're on is there's an O train, which is the new monorail system here in Ottawa. Stop at UOttawa. That's it's we're leaving town. Hope is, or my hope is that anything transport related, it's kept clear in the wintertime. So after the footbridge is kept clear, but the pathway that I was just on beside the canal is not. You can cross country skiing on, like they don't clear it, so you got to take like cycle routes through the city. But as soon as you get to UOttawa, all of this should be maintained in the wintertime. So that's a pretty good alternative to the roads for crazy diehard cyclists and would just drive on the road. I mean, I used to do that many years ago in beautiful Winnipeg, prior to their cycling infrastructure along the roads. I've since been back since I moved away years ago, many years ago now. It's gotten a lot better. So the cities that I've lived in across Canada are getting much better, not only putting in infrastructure, but like not just painting lines on the road blindly and being like, oh yeah, we did it, wipe my hands, and the cyclists can now shut up. So it's getting better. They're planning it a little bit more with future connections. So once I get on here, it's basically non-stop to work, really. I don't have any stop signs. I get back on the cycle route, of course, but for a large part of the commute, it's traffic free. I just have to worry about pedestrians. And right now, it doesn't look too busy. It's A, it's summer, B, it's COVID, C, they've had a lot of issues with the reliability of these trains, of these Ulstrom trains. You can go into the news and just Google Ottawa LRT and you'll just get a smorgasbord of hits. But I don't know what their numbers are operating, but I think ridership is quite down. It's been quite down since COVID and even pre-COVID. I don't know. I don't take the thing. I'm just happy they designed all these cycle paths in there. So here's the Rideau River we're coming up on. So across two bodies of water, the canal system and the Rideau River, which feeds the Rideau Canal. This is all new. All these O train stops. This stuff wasn't here. Actually, I don't even think the path that I'm riding on right now was here when I first moved to Ottawa. There was some behind here. There was a river pathway. It was quite nice. But when they designed it, I'm not an engineer, but I know fill costs a lot of money, and it's got to be like a trade-off, right? Just be cost effective. There's some areas along this path as you head south. We're not heading south right now, but as you head south, that we're susceptible to flooding, and you
there'd be set portions of the path that were underwater for a good part of the spring in the summer, because then they had to clean them. Anyway, I'm not sure. I think they've alleviated that because they put new crossings over one of the main arteries south, Riverside Drive. So it's new vehicle bridges and cycle routes, you can say. Canada, for the most part, unless there's blips, I'm going to say blips, we're not too big on the whole segregated pathway stuff that you might see in other cities, maybe in the States. I don't know. Buddy goes to Minneapolis quite a bit, and he says it's pretty sweet down there. So, way to go, Minneapolis. Canada, what the heck? Europe has got segregated pathways, but I think a lot of people tend to forget is that it's a completely different societal mindset. Over there, everything's ever been so close. Like, talking to a European saying, yeah, I travel 2 hours a day to go to work and back. They probably look at you as crazy because 2 hours to them in 5 different countries, you know. So we're definitely a car society, and it'll take a while for us to shift, to dedicate resources to cycling, because anybody that I've ever talked to says the same, generally two things to me. I would ride. It's not the weather, it's the safety. So as cities become more and more developed, adding cycling infrastructure into it, it's a great way, because more people will cycle, reduces congestions on the road. Because I don't know, Ottawa, what the heck's in the water, but yesterday there's like just a rash of accidents. I don't know what the heck's going on. Like, it's getting somewhat back to normal and people are just blowing light, but it was weird even when COVID was happening and there's like 3 vehicles on a multi-lane highway. People were still getting into accidents. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, like I said, I don't mind. It's good exercise, and the thing about cycling is my commute to work. Although some people out there might be like, I wouldn't cycle for 45 minutes. Screw that. It's consistent because I'm not influenced necessarily by construction or accidents. My commute's the same every morning, within 5 minutes, so it's pretty freaking good. Especially as the weather gets funky. In these 4-season climates, snow really causes everybody to forget how to drive, and rain does too. And that's everywhere I live, so let's just be mindful. And the other nice thing is up ahead of me, you can see they have these bicycle repair stations. I use that one once in a while when I think my tire pressure is good when I leave my house, and it's not, so I fill up there. There is an app to show you where they are throughout the city. That's the only one on this route. So if anybody from the city of Ottawa is watching, put some more in, because they're super handy. I don't know if they're getting vandalized or whatnot. Oh, sorry, I've been rambling. I haven't really explained what happened. So I went over the 417, the big highway, on a covered pedestrian. There's another one of them. Actually, there's a few of them on the way. There's one at Blair Station, and then another one at Parkdale. That could be missing one, but oh well. Anyway, it comes right from the Via Rain train station across to, I think it's a AAA ball team. I don't know. Baseball's not that popular here. It's hockey and football. Since I've been here, I think the baseball team has switched names a few times. Oh, it's soccer too, or European football, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty big. I don't know what division they play. So when they redid this road, they put these, so it's nice, sidewalk, cycle path. Say cycle path fast, it sounds like psychopath. Right is the Belfast Bridge, which is redone. Anyway, so yeah, there we go. We're coming up against the back, the building in the foreground there is St. Laurent Mall. Here's the Sharrows go in, and as soon as the road's clear, like in April, and they get put in and installed. They get taken out in the wintertime because the plows have just abolished them. So the sun's been in your eyes the whole time, it's been in mine. As I was mentioning earlier with the connectivity with the cycle paths, so I went over the 417 on that nice covered walkway by the ball diamond. I've been going kind of east, and then still gonna go east, and then I'm gonna go south again and cross back over the 417. There's a stop here called Cyrville, and it goes to a stop at Lee's. Now, this all kind of connected. So where I went over the Rideau River, actual river, not the canal, and so from there on the other side there's Herndon Station, Lee's and stuff, and then I come up and cross the highway. Well, I don't know if they have future plans, but Ottawa certainly would have been nice if you would have connected those two stations with a cycle path instead of a bike route. I mean, it's a straight line because it's by rails. Oh, foot slipped off. Oh, you guys can't see that. But the rails are right down there. Would have been nice to have that path. Oh well, can't win them all. So there, I'm going over the 417 now. Might be able to hear all the vehicles. If that works. So, we've been going for 40 minutes. That's probably one of the most awkward transitions you can get. Looking at my gleamingly sweaty face right now, so I'm almost at work, so I'll show everyone off here, and I'll pick you up on the way home. Now we're gonna go a different route, and I'll explain that later at the end, why I did that. Anyway, have a great day. See you later. Bye.